Previously on Balls.
Hey, good old London song for Campo. The Clash, London Calling. Monday evening, Balls Visual Radio and Mix 93.8 FM. And we're into the flush out. Nice to have him back after all these holidays. Kind of robbed us of Campo for so many days and weeks. He's back on the phone again. How's it going, Campo?
I'm well, Darren. How are you? Missed speaking to you, mate.
I missed you as well. We had a double dose of you today because you made your appearance on the rugby panel today as well.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Can chat to Simon about that later.
Okay, we'll do.
Yes.
That sounds like a legal suit, yeah.
Ominous. He's going straight for lawyer. Got a good lawyer, Trevor Ngube. He's apparently very good if you need one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's bring it up to date. Now, first of all, we didn't get a chance for you to blow your own trumpet about your achievements the week before this last weekend.
Very, probably first time in history, Darren.
All games correct.
All games correct, yes.
Well done, Campo.
Thank you.
No, not this week, the week before.
That was 2 weeks ago, but I don't think this week was that fantastic.
No, but you don't get many right, so...
I can't see Campo having picked a draw between the Kings and the Brumbies, first of all.
I don't think anybody in the world would have picked the draw, Darren.
No, they wouldn't have. They might have got some one-eyed Kings supporters like John might have gone for a Kings win, but I don't think anyone thinks of the draw.
Win, yes.
Yeah. So that, and what was the other big, what was the other upset result this weekend?
The Stormers losing to the Cheetahs.
New South Wales.
Yeah. Hurricanes beating, losing to New South Wales. Yeah, that was in Wellington as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I went for New South Wales because I thought that they were on a bit of a roll, but the Hurricanes actually stood up for the count, which is very unusual. But New South Wales were in until half-time, and then the first 15 minutes, it was just the second half was just a debacle. You know, and the thing is, as a winger, you know, Pete Beetham, who played for New South Wales on the right wing, he had a prop and a hooker, both score on his wing. Not a good statistic when you've got props and hookers running past you and scoring tries.
Yeah, but hold on, your old captain used to score all his tries there, Phil Kearns.
Yeah, and so did Sean Fitzpatrick, but they weren't running 25 metres, you know, give me a break. At least, you know, they probably would have ran 2 metres and dived over instead of scored a try on the wing. You know?
I think I saw Kearns actually maybe make a few extra paces once or twice.
No.
I think
if you speak to him, you'd probably said he chip-kicked and sidestepped and all that,
from his own 22, which is the way exactly. It should be. All right. Yeah. Okay, so those are the upset games of the weekend, but obviously some of the big ones, and the Sharks winning another game against the Crusaders.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going to happen if they lose Pat Lambie.
Yeah, well, they're not going to, are they?
No, I'm just saying, like injury-wise, I mean, he's kicked all the points in the last 2 games, so, you know, it's, but again, I must, you know, don't get me wrong, I must say that the referee, you know, the game of rugby is about 2 teams playing, you know, positive rugby. And the referee penalised the Crusaders for playing positive rugby. You just wouldn't let them in the game.
Yeah.
That's my view. I mean, if you go back, and he was the same referee who did the the Rebel Sharks 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All he worried about is himself. You know, and that last scrum of the game, he penalised in the last scrum of it was ridiculous.
Sorry, just tell me who the ref was, because I had my TV commandeered by my son, so I was watching
Nickelodeon
Postman Pat instead of Pat Lambie. Was it Steve Walsh by any chance?
No, it wasn't a Kiwi. It was a South African.
Oh, okay.
It was a school teacher.
School teacher?
School teacher. I don't know his name.
Okay. Short
I'm
little
not really
guy.
good, because and as someone said when I tweeted, if you know the referee's name, it was a bad game of rugby.
Yeah.
If you don't know who it was, and the best referee at the moment going around is Jackson, the ex-fly half who played for the Hurricanes, the Highlanders, I think, many years ago.
Yeah, it was a wing, Glenn Jackson, Yeah,
very good referee, because he actually played the game and he allows the game to flow. These referees just blow the game apart, and it's not great for, you know, spectators and viewing on TV.
Yeah. Well, in that case, everyone knows that Stuart Berry was the referee in the Stormers game against the Cheetahs, and I think justice was done because the Sharks ref was Lawrence van der Merwe. Even though I've heard his name, I still don't know who he is.
He's just a new referee. He hasn't ref a lot, but the referee shouldn't be allowed to still determine if you win or lose a game.
Yeah. Did you notice Craig Jabir there, who stood in at the last minute, as one of the touch judges was speaking to him most of the time as well and reprimanding him, I think?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's, you know, when you've got so much experience, because I don't know if you remember, but he did the the Rebels game, and he went upstairs and said, "Can I have a look?" He said, a couple of minutes, no, I'm just sitting on big screen, don't worry about it, I'll make my decision.
Yeah.
Well, why go upstairs? But the other thing, what they've got to do, I think, which is really frustrating now, because the referees see, is actually, when there's an incident, they don't show it on the big screen. They don't show, because it's a waste of time going upstairs and the guy overrule him. You know, and we've seen a couple of incidents this weekend where Kaplan as well, he said, "Oh, mate, can you just check 2 phases back? I thought there was a knock-on or a forward pass." And they go back and it was great. But then I heard in the Cheetah-Stormers game that there was a knock-on and the Stormers scored a try.
Accidental offsides.
Accidental offside, so...
blatant one. That's with Stuart Berry, yeah.
But that could cost them the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could cost them a playoff place if, that's why I say, justice turned out to be done.
Yeah.
Because the Cheetahs did go on and win the game in the last minute with that Burton Francis penalty.
Yeah.
But I know, there were, I mean, and it wasn't one of those decisions where, you know, ref was obscured. No, I mean, the touch judge, as someone said on Twitter during the weekend, made a very good point. If you're going to call them and insist on being called assistant referees instead of touch judges, then please assist the referees. If you're standing there and it's right in front of you and you see it happen, open your mouth and tell them, listen, there's an accidental offside. He kicked it into his own player.
But Darren, they're too scared. The linesmen, you see them, they're absolutely scared, but they poo themselves.
But then they mustn't call them assistant referees because they're not assisting anything.
I don't know, call them, I don't know, fairies or something. I don't know. Call them something. But the thing is, you're right, on Twitter, you read on Twitter, you know, you go on there and you talk about the game and all that, and people come back and say, isn't this referee shocking?
Yeah.
You know, isn't this, you know, it's not great for the game and all that sort of stuff. So it's really frustrating. And I just get annoyed because I go on there and you give a view and you say, well, you know, what about this? And that was the same referee. There was a head-eye tackle from Francis Stone right on one of the Crusaders, right underneath the post, and he didn't even see it. He had to go upstairs and be told by someone else it was a high tackle.
Yeah.
You know, the referees have got to be there to referee the game of rugby. And I actually said if you remember the first half when, who was it, Fruin tackled one of the Sharks players when he went across and did a switch. And the linesman came in and said, right in front, said, "Oh, mate, can you just check for a shoulder charge?" It wasn't a shoulder charge, and they penalised him for a late tackle.
Yes.
And I Twitter said, rugby's a game about men playing rugby. It's not about a bunch of babies. You can't touch anybody. No, honestly, and I said, you know, the most important thing is...
No, but I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
Can you imagine in our day, if we had these referees, there wouldn't be a player left in the field.
Yeah.
We'd all be sent off for something.
That's how the game has changed. With
I know it's changed,
too many more rules.
It's got to be changed for the spectators
For the better,
that pay money to be entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. It doesn't happen that often, but on this one I do. Because sadly, every weekend you can pinpoint a game where a referee has influenced the result in some way or another.
They've just got to make the rules very simple, bring back rucking, so there's no muck around. You know, the scrums, it's just like, go back to the short arm penalty, so you can't win a game from a scrum.
Yeah, because they don't know what's happening there most of the time either.
Oh, well, it's just it's a nightmare. But, you know, the last scrum of the day, you penalise straight away against one of the best teams in the world because it's a home referee. I mean, it doesn't... I'm not taking it from the Sharks, you know. I mean, they won. The Crusaders made a lot of mistakes, but it's just so... I don't know, coincidental. It always seems to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think they should have like a citing commission for refs?
They should have...
No, I just think what should happen, I think someone said this, they should actually be able to, like in cricket, you can challenge the referee and say, mate, can you please just have a look at this again?
Yeah, well,
why not? They do it in cricket.
Something we were talking about a while ago, and I thought they were bringing it in, where you get one challenge per team per half or something like that. And if you want to, and you've got to be very clever on how you use it as well. So, I don't know when they're bringing that in. But the interesting thing is, Darren, which is, I mean, if you look at the last couple of weeks, you have to laugh at the referee. The last scrum of the game, he tells the half, put it in straight, please. Yeah. And does it put it in straight? No way. No, of course not. We're not to ever do that. They used to be, pedantic about putting the ball in straight. Yeah. You know? Lyndon Bray, a couple of weeks ago, said on Boots North, he said, about, the scrums are great and all this, and the opposition hooker's not really striking for the ball and all that. And I said, well, the problem is the ball goes straight in the second row, so the guy can't strike for it anyway. Yeah. So, just a correction here on Twitter. Brendan Brash from Durban says Glenn Jackson played fly half for the Chiefs. Was he? I thought he was a wing.
No, it was a fly half. I said fly half.
Fly,
I thought it was
okay.
the Highlanders.
All right, fly half for the Chiefs. Thanks a lot for that, Brendan, for correcting us there. Now then, Simon, you got your fixtures for this week. Let's see how
Got 'em.
good Mr. Campese can be this weekend.
Okay, Highlanders against the Brumbies, first game.
Well, geez, what is it? 6 lots? Geez, you'd have to go for the Highlanders, wouldn't you?
No, you don't.
No, I'm only joking. Being sarcastic. Come on, mate.
Although you say that, and the Highlanders will probably go out and beat them.
Highlanders haven't won in 6.
Yeah, well, listen, if the Kings
I
can
must
hold
say-
the
Yeah.
hold the Brumbies in Canberra, the Highlanders could beat
You
them.
don't know. You just don't know.
The Brumbies, I think the Brumbies have played their best rugby. I don't think they can play any better than they did against the Sharks. But
Okay.
since then, they've just seemed to have gone backwards. And against the Kings, even if you notice, the crowd actually started to boo them because they kept on going for penalty instead of running for tries.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the mentality, but the Brumbies.
Okay.
Alright.
Chiefs Reds in Hamilton.
We'll have to go for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Blues Hurricanes in Auckland.
That's a tough one. I'll go for the Blues at home.
Okay.
I'll go for the Sirs. The Sirs.
Okay.
Rebels against the Kings in Melbourne.
Battle of the Wooden
Rebels.
Spoon.
Yeah.
Rebels and the
Now, that's
Kings.
going to be a fascinating game, isn't it? What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at
Your sarcasm.
your sarcasm.
Okay. You think I should go for a draw again?
No,
okay.
go for the Kings.
This is the one where the Rebel-
No, I'm an Australian. I can't do that.
This is the one where
Okay, I'll go
the
for the
first
Kings.
team we're going to put 50 past them, will win by
No,
50 is
I
going to be
think-
the Rebels.
I think the Rebels will win at home.
All right.
Just on the Rebels, how boring was that Rebels Force game?
Mate, the Australian derbies, but the problem is it's the lack of skills, the lack of tactics, the lack of vision. And it was interesting, one of the commentators said the ARU are going to actually help the Force and Rebels because of the situation they're in. And I tweeted, I said, look, 10 years ago we tried to help. 10 years ago we said, you need the players for the Force to go over to Perth, play there and stay there and help club rugby. But what happened was the ARU said no, and they all came back to Sydney and Queensland and played their club rugby. So the Perth system was never working. Melbourne's the same.
Yeah.
You cannot just bring the guys in and then ship them out again. You know, I mean, if you haven't got the grassroots, it's not going to work, and that's one of the biggest problems. And now they want to help them out. Well, that's nice of them, isn't it? They could
said
have done
ship.
it properly the first time.
He said ship, by the way. Okay, next game.
Force Crusaders.
I have to go. Well, actually, was it last year, the year before, the Crusaders lost to the Force, eh?
Yeah, I think Dan Carter's back now,
They
though.
also lost to the Rebels in a game as well, but that's
Yeah.
an aberration. It happens once in a blue moon.
Yeah. I'll go for the Crusaders. I think they have to start winning now because they're getting left behind a bit on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crusaders in.
Okay, then our derbies. Stormers Sharks.
Ooh. The Stormers have got a few injuries, haven't they?
Yeah, they do.
I think it's going to be a kick fest. I don't think it's too many tries.
It's in Cape Town.
In Cape Town.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll go Sharks by 1.
Sharks by 1. Good for you, Mr. Camper.
There we go.
All right, last game of the weekend. In Pretoria, the Bulls versus the Cheetahs.
Ooh. I think it's going to be... We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. What happens with the Bulls, when they kick the ball, they actually make you come to their level. And you kick the ball away, so which they did against the Brumbies. So I think the Bulls are going to win because of just because they're going to make the Cheetahs just play a very
Play at their
dull.
level.
They won't be able to speed the game up. They'll slow it down.
All right. As I was saying, the Cheetahs now with that win are serious playoff contenders. And now I'm starting to think, how are they going to handle the fact that they now are suddenly in contention? Because they've been kind of playing the kind of rugby where, just picking up wins and being mid-table or
Happy-go-lucky.
lower table. No pressure, but now suddenly they're in contention. How are they going to handle that? Never been there before. New territory for them.
No, but what you've got to do is, the good thing about they beat the Stormers because they actually believe in their team. They've got some really good players, but they're actually a good unit. And that's what happens when you get to that level. If you've got a really good team, you come up against good opposition. You'll play well because you play for each other. They've been on tour. They've been together. They've been on tour away from home. They've probably one of the most successful South African teams away from home. They're still playing good run. They just beat the Stormers. But the thing is, this competition is never an easy game. There's always a tough game around the corner. And as long as they don't get injuries, they are a very complete team. They've always find great back rows, aren't they? Up there?
Absolutely.
And, they're absolutely playing. They've got some LaRue at fullback or wing. I think he was one of the best players so far this year. He's one of those guys that you want to go and watch because you're not sure what he's going to do next. He scored that try against New South Wales in the 41st second of the game. Those sort of things, and that's what you need. That's what people want to go and see. But I do hope the Cheetahs can actually should go for the Cheetahs, not the Bulls, because I think that's the kind of rugby that people in South Africa want to see. And as you said, I think they've got that tag of they've been they've beaten all the lower teams, but they beat New South Wales. They beat some really good teams on the way. Now they've just got to, which they've got that confidence, so they've just got to turn up and just realise that every game's a final and keep on playing good rugby.
All right, so you're going Cheetahs or Bulls finally?
Yeah, I'll go for the Cheetahs.
All right, change the mind. Cheetahs. Okay, there we go. So if you're doing Super Brew with Corix and DigiAds for those fabulous prizes, David Campese would have given you a good indication. He's on a good roll at the moment. Thanks, Campo. Chat you again next Monday.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a
Cheers,
good
Campo.
weekend,
Cheers, Campo.
and, hopefully I can, whatever you do, don't put any money on the tips I pick, okay?
All right,
You'll be great very soon.
Thanks, Campo. Cheers.
Okay, see you then. Bye.
There we go. David Campese joining us in the flush out Monday. And your prediction, Super Brew with Corix and DigiAds giving us the prizes, some really nice ones up for grabs. Go and check it out on our website at balls.co.za.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za.